Hey everyone, so today we are going to talk about optimization problems using single variable calculus. So what do you mean by optimization problem? If I want to say in a very simple language, then it is the problem where you need to find the best possible solution. Okay, that's what you mean by an optimization problem. So today we are going to see some 4 to 5 examples, all of different varieties using single variable calculus. So now whenever you have a problem on optimization, find maximum or find minimum, such kind of things, the first thing is you should always read the problem carefully, because optimization problem you will always have a question with around 3 to 6 lines. Okay, so it's usually a big problem, so it's always better to read 2-3 times so that you understand the problem exactly. Once you see the problem, you try to draw the diagram, at least the rough sketch, which will help you to further formulate the problem. So once you draw the figure, you just do the labeling. That means you introduce the variables x and y or x, y, z and so on. Once you introduce the variable, you try to formulate your function and some constraint will be given to you. So using this thing, function and the constraint, you will get a function in one variable. And once you have the function in one variable, we use all our arms and ammunition like the first derivative test and all those things to find the optimum value. So that's what usually the steps are to solve optimization problem using one variable calculus. Now usually people categorize them into 2 ways, like some say that they can be either solved using a closed interval method or using the first derivative test. Now what all does that mean, I will tell you with the help of an example. Okay, so let us go for the first example. Let me start with the simple one. So here is the first question. So you have a sheet of 10 by 10 meter by 10 meter and you want to make a box, open box from this sheet. And how to you are supposed to make? From the corners you have to cut some amount, say x amount, from all the 4 corners, so that once you cut you can fold, okay, and you will get an open box. So question is, how large should the squares cut from the corners to make the box hold as much as possible? So this is what the question is. If you want, you can pause the video and read the question once again. Okay, so now the first thing is you try to draw the figure, you try to draw the diagram. Now what is the diagram? You have a 10 by 10 sheet, okay, and so this is 10 meter, this is 10 meter. I want to cut from here. Say if I cut x from here and x from here, so this is the part I am cutting, and everywhere it is the same thing, x, here also x, and here as well x. Now once you cut, you just fold this much part, so like this is here, you fold till here, you fold this like this, you fold here till here, and you fold like this. So you have an open box, right? So question is how much x you should cut so that you can have the largest possible box. That's what the question is. Okay, so now once I have a figure, I know what I'm supposed to do. This is my x. So now what will be the side of the new box? Here this will be 10 minus 2x, x minus x. So minus x minus x minus 2x. So this is 10 minus 2x. This is also 10 minus 2x. So length and breadth both are same. And what will be the height? Height will be nothing but this x units, right? So now what will be the volume of the box? Your volume of the box will be length into breadth into height. So 10 into 10 minus 2x whole square. I think, okay, instead of 10, let me take 12 over here. Okay, let me take 12 meter. Okay, because if I take 10, calculation will be bad. So I want to just keep the calculations easier. So let me take the sheet of 12 meter. So this will be 12 minus 2x, 12 minus 2x. Okay, good. So now I have a function which I need to optimize. So what is my function? My function is v is equal to, or I can say v of x into 12 minus 2x the whole square. Now we do the expansion, a minus b the whole square multiply by x. So 144x, 12 to the 24, so 48x square plus 4x square. Okay, it will be x cube. Now you have a function, you want to find the maximum and the minimum value. So what you do, you take the derivative, you equate it to 0. Now before that, what the value of x can be? Either I will not cut, so x will be 0, and I have 12 minus 2x. So the maximum value x can take is 6, because then 2 into 6 is 12, 12 minus 12 is 0. So my x is in the interval 0, 6, and this is my closed and bounded interval. Okay, now you find the derivative of this. Your v dash of x is 144 minus 96x plus 12x square. And when you equate v dash of x equal to 0, so if you observe, this is nothing but 12 into 12 minus 8x plus x square. So 6 2s are 12. So this is x minus 6 into x minus 2. So your x is equal to 2, 6. And this we call as our stationary points or the critical points. Okay. Now whenever you have closed and bounded interval, there is a theorem which is called as an extreme value theorem. If you don't know, you can find the link in the description. The extreme value theorem says for a continuous functions over closed and bounded interval, absolute maxima and absolute minima is always attained. Okay, so whenever you have the closed and bounded interval, you do this procedure, you will get some critical points. So you just take the critical points and you take the end points. So what are the points? 0, 2 and 6, right? And now you find the value of the function. So what will be v of 0? Your v of 0 will be 0. What will be v of 2? 12 minus 4 is 8, 64, 64 2s are 128, and then you find v of 6. V of 6 is again 0. So the maximum value is 128. So you should cut the squares of side 2 so that you can have the maximum possible. The box can hold as much as possible. Okay, so therefore the value of x is 2. So whenever you have, this is called as a closed interval method. Why so? Because whenever you have closed and bounded interval, you only check the value of the function at the endpoints and at the critical points. And if the question is to maximize, you see at which point you are getting the maximum value. If the question is to minimize, you look for the point where the function is taking the minimum value. Now what if the domain is not closed and bounded? In that scenario, we use the first derivative test. So let's see an example when the domain is not closed and bounded. So in this problem, there is a line given to you. What is the line? Line is y equal to 3x minus 2. So let's try to draw the line. To draw the unique line, you should know at least 2 points. So now suppose when my x is 0, my y is minus 2, and when my y is 0, my x is 2 by 3. Okay, so this is the line over here. And what is the point? 3, minus 1. 2, 3. This is 3 and minus 1. I have to find the point on this line, some points x, y, such that the distance is minimum. Okay, now, so in this case I need to minimize my problem. Okay, so question is what should be my function? So I have a figure. Now any point is of this form, and what is my y? My y is nothing but 3x minus 2, because y are the points on this line, and the points on this line satisfy that equation. Okay, so now what is the distance between these 2 points? Let me call d. So what is my d? Or let me call d of x. It is square root of, by Euclidean distance formula, x minus 3 the whole square plus 3x minus 3 the whole square. Right? y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square. So this is what my function is, and I want to minimize this function. Now either you can play with this function, but you can see this function is bad function. Bad as in there is a square root in the picture. So when you try to take the derivative, you will have 1 upon 2 root x, because the derivative of root x is 1 upon 2 root x. So just to make my calculation simpler, let me take f of x as the term inside the square root. And now I will play with this and I will see at which point I am getting the distance. Okay, so square root is an increasing function. So whatever the minimum value this will take, the same at that point also d will take the minimum value. Okay, so let me play with this function. So we find the derivative of the function and the derivative comes out to be this. And when you try to solve this, you can take out 2 common, x minus 3 plus 3 3 is 9x minus 3. So this is nothing but 2 into 10x minus 6. So when is the derivative 0? When your x is 6 by 10, which is 3 by 5. So this is your critical point. Is this the required point? That means whether the function takes minimum value at this point. Now how do you check that? Because the domain is what? Minus infinity to infinity. I don't have endpoints. Like for the closed interval you had the endpoints and you had the critical points. You just compare between them. So when you don't have the closed and bounded domain, we take the help of the first derivative test. To take the help of first derivative test, the first thing is we draw the table. Interval, then you look for the sign of the derivative of the function, and then you look whether the function is increasing or decreasing. So that's the first thing you should do. You should draw a table. Okay, now what interval you should take? You should start from the extreme left. So minus infinity to 3 by 5 and then 3 by 5 to infinity. Now you take any point in this interval. If I take 0, what is sign of f dash? It is negative. And when I take suppose 1, the sign of f dash is positive. So when f dash is negative, my function is increasing. Sorry, my function is decreasing. When f dash is positive, my function is increasing. And if you see, whenever the function decreases and then increases, that means at that point you are having the minima, local minima. Therefore, at 3 by 5, function takes the minimum value. Great. So you find d of 3 by 5, whatever the answer you get, that is the distance between the point and the line. Moreover, that distance is the minimum distance. And if you want to find what is that point, you simply find the value of y from the given equation of line. You replace your x by 3 by 5, you get the value of x. Okay, and therefore you get the point x comma y. So that's the first homework for you. Pause the video and tell me what is the distance and tell me at which point you are getting that minimum distance. Now let's go for the third example. So here is the third example, the fencing example. So you have a rectangular plot with you and you want to do a fencing to your farmland, and one side there is a river. Okay, so there is a river flowing, and so I want to do the fencing at the remaining 3 sides. Okay, at river I don't want to do the fencing. I want to enjoy the view. So near the river side I don't want to do the fencing. On remaining 3 sides I want to do the fencing. So question is, what is the largest area I can cover if I have a single strand? Single strand means only one wiring. Okay, it's not like 1 and 2 wiring. Only one wiring if I do, then what is the largest possible area I can cover if I have the electric fence of length 800 meter. Okay, so I hope the question is clear. If not, you can pause the video and again read this problem so that it will be clear to you. Now once you have a problem, what you do is you try to draw the figure. So you have a rectangular farmland. Okay, so you have something like this, rectangular, and here the river is flowing. I don't want the fence over here. Okay, since this is rectangular, so if this is x, this has to be x, and this will be what? 800 minus 2x, because I know that the total is 800. Question is, what should be my x? So now you see, once you draw the diagram, things becomes very easy. So what is the area in this case? So it is nothing but length into breadth, that is the area, right? So it is x into 100 minus 2x. Now question is, what is the range of x? My x is greater or equal 0, and at the most it can go till 400, because when x is 400, this will be 0. Okay, so now you can see my domain is closed and bounded. Great. So you find the value of function at the endpoints, which is coming out to be 0, and whatever the critical points you get. So in this case, if I take the derivative, that will be what? X into minus 2 plus 800 minus 2x. And when you equate this to 0, you have 800 minus 4x. So your x will come out to be 200. So you have only 3 points, end points and the critical point, 0, 200, 400. At 0 and 400, value of a is 0, and at 200, this is 400. So this is 400 into 200, which is nothing but 80,000 meters square. That's the area. And what will be the dimension? So this is 200 and this will be my 400. So if you do in this way, you can have the maximum possible coverage. Okay, now let's go for another example. So here is the last example. So the scenario is you want to remodel your house. Okay, and to do this remodeling, you have 20 feet of flexible molding to construct 2 windows. And the 2 windows are such that one is a square window of length at least 1 foot, and one is a circular window of radius at least 1 foot. What should be the value of x and r so that you have the maximum light possible? Okay, so you can have the maximum sunlight inside the house. If that is the case, what should be x and what will be r? That's what the question is. Okay, now what is the area of the square? It is x square. What is the area of circle? Pi r square. And if I add, let me call this as a. I want to maximize a. Okay, so that I can have the maximal possible sunlight coming in. Okay, now here there are 2 variables, x and r. So question is, I should differentiate with respect to which variable? So I need to get rid of one variable. And when you have such scenarios, you again read the question and you see some constraint will be definitely given to you. In this scenario, what is that constraint? The perimeter is given to be 20 foot. Okay, so what is the perimeter of this? 4x. And what is the perimeter of that? 2 pi r. And this is given to be 20. And now from here, you try to find the value of either x or either r. Okay, so here if I divide by 2, 2x plus pi r is equal to 10. And therefore your r is nothing but 10 minus 2x upon pi. I usually like to play with x. So this is nothing but x square plus pi into r square. This is nothing but 10 minus 2x upon pi the whole square. Now what can be the value of x? Now x is definitely greater equal 1 because that is given to us. And from here my r is greater equal 1. So therefore 10 minus 2x is greater equal pi. So what do you get? 10 minus pi is greater equal to x. So this implies your x is less equal 10 minus pi upon 2. 10 minus pi upon 2. So the interval is 1 comma 10 minus pi by 2. So this is the interval which is closed and bounded. Now you have the function as well. Now it's easy, right? You take the derivative, you equate it to 0, you will get a critical point. So the second homework is you pause the video, tell me what critical point you are getting, and tell me what is your x and r, what should be the dimension of the square window and the circle window, so that in your house you can have the maximal possible light. Okay, so you tell me what is the critical point and what is the value of x. Once you have the value of x, you put over here to find the value of r. So I think solving is not difficult. The only thing is you should formulate, and keep one thing in mind: whenever you have 2 variables in the function which you are formulating, then definitely some constraint will definitely be given to you. Use that constraint to express one variable in terms of another variable. And yeah, that's how you solve optimization problems. So I hope this is clear. If you have any other doubt, you can ask me in the comment section. And if everything is clear, then do not forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you.